Let's see if I'm on here. I'm on. Okay. Wake up. Ruth, wake up. Health Ministries, wake up. Matt, wake up. Man, what a miserable commute into school today. Gosh, this weather. Look at this. Just look, check this out. Can I turn this thing around? Look at this weather outside. This is what we get here. This is what we get in England. Oh boy. Yep, but because of it, there's nobody here. Check it out. Like 2 people in the whole gym. So I think I'm gonna stay over here in the cardio side this morning. I think I might jump on stair stepper. Problem is, man, I have nowhere to put this thing. If I put it on the stair stepper, man, Rita, if I go on the stair stepper, then I have nowhere to put my phone. Yeah, but there's nowhere to connect it. If I get up here in the stair stepper, it's not magnet, it's not metal. It's got to be metal. Huh?
Put it here and angle it.
What? That's not even metal. That's plastic anyway. Yeah, it's not metal. It's not metal. It's plastic. Man, you'd think there'd be. Yeah.
What's this? This is metal.
Yeah, but what am I gonna do? Put it up my bum? And it wouldn't. Yeah, it's not gonna stick. Yeah. Let me see. Where could I? That's not gonna stick that way. I know, right? Isn't that miserable? It's because it's round. Because it's round, it's not going to stick. Oh man, dilemmas. I guess I could. Let me just see. Okay. But then it looks weird. Where could I put you? I need like a little, you know what I do? We need a little thing right there. Like a little magnetic thing where I could put it right there. But alas, see, I really wanted to get on the stair stepper this morning. Seeing all this stuff is plastic. Oh well, no stair stepper. Okay, I'll jump rope, but there's nowhere to. I'll jump rope. Oh well, it's going to do the stair stepper, but oh, you know what I could do? I could use my. Because even if I were to use the tripod, it would still just be like, oh, what's up, dude? Are you just starting your workout? Okay. I'll probably be in about 8:45. Yeah, go. You know, even if I use my tripod, it's still just going to be right up my face, like right up my backside. It's not going to be, you know what I mean?
Put it on the wrist. Someone's thinking no hands pad or something. Just put it like on the wrist. That's like the best place to put it. Like on the neck.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to jump rope. See, I'm so committed to talking to you guys. I'm going to jump rope instead of doing what I wanted to do. See? If I can get my hands on a jump, see, I can put it right there on the squat rack. What can I use here? Man, they just threw all the jump ropes on here. What you looking for?
Oh no, this is no hands.
What's that?
This is no hands.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
What you looking for then? Is he looking for a pad? Okay. Oh. Is this it? I should have brought mine, but I wasn't planning on jumping rope today. see what's up. Hey, we got the gym all to ourselves today, huh?
Yeah.
This weather coming in was terrible. Let's see if I can turn it so you can. She'll flip out. Now it's letting it flip out. So I gotta kind of keep it away from her. She'll Got some nice mess going on over here. Let's see. Start to get to the point where you got more stuff in the gym than you can really accommodate. More equipment than you can deal with. You mind if I move this?
Yeah, that's it.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I do. There you go. Oh, man. Okay. We're starting to get more stuff in the gym than we can.
Hold on.
Oh, no, that's all right. Keep going.
That's right, carry on.
We're starting to get more stuff in the gym than we have places to put it. I know, right?
We need to expand the gym instead.
I know, right? Flow it over into there. And let us work out in there. That would really solve it. If they just if they opened that up and let us.
Bigger over there, isn't it?
Well, yeah, if they just let us all just kind of come work in either, then we could accommodate tons more people.
We need some floor space to work out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But over there you have tons. But as I'm saying, we need to ask Penny about at least in the mornings from like 7 to 8 or 7 to 9, if we could open up. Yeah. Well, you have the track so you can run on it. You have all that space to do floor work. You could jump rope without having to hit people. You know, tons of, like 8 squat racks. So. Okay. Let's see if we can. Get my legs good and warmed up here. So I just wanted to do, my intention was to just do 30 minutes on the stair stepper, but don't know if it's going to work out that way. We'll go over there, but can't think of anywhere over there where I can put this. I can put this. No, there's nowhere to put it other than just up like this. This is the place I can put it. So I can stay out of Rosalind's way. She just makes me. I know that she seems really happy and smiling, but if she sees me filming her, she'll flip out. Yeah, I like to. Might do. Might just get my tripod. I might really wanted to get on the stair stepper. I'm just going to do it. Why not? Really wanted to get on the stair stepper. Dodgy George, don't you get on that stair stepper? Oh. I don't know. You look like you was making your move. Okay. I'm going to use this. I'm going to the tripod today. Let's see. Hey man, I don't have a cameraman. What you gonna do, right? Okay, so nobody should be here. Okay, there you go. You can see me. Okay. I just woke up this morning and decided I wanted to get on the stair stepper. Yeah, man. How does this work? See if the heart rate monitor works. Yeah, like at 90. Okay, so got to watch Oppenheimer last night. That was cool. Man, 3 hours, but man, I was riveted. Dodgy George pounding on the treadmill beside me, of course. It's really aggravating that I can't look at you guys when I do this. Wish I could just turn the whole thing around. A little faster. This is 7. I might go over to the bike instead of this. Yeah, I'm going to. This is nice. I enjoy this, but I'm not going to stay here in the back to you the whole time. Let's go to the bike. I've been on the bike for a little while. Let's see what we can do here. I'm just switching to the bike. So what? I know, right? We need to put some metal anchors there, like along the walls, so that I could. But so tell me about. You've got me captivated. Tell me about your So-
about it for like 5 minutes whilst I
Yeah.
walked home. But he was basically like, you know, the people. I don't think the Maltons people haven't you?
What's that?
You go to the Maltons on a Sunday, haven't you?
Yeah, I used to go play basketball there.
Yeah. So you know, like the people who usually have like church service there.
Downstairs, yeah.
So Alex literally, he was just like, oh, I just went just to see.
Really?
What it's like, yeah.
Good. Alex just went into the church service.
He was literally like, oh,
We should go. We should go one Sunday. We should go tackle it.
to that one.
Yeah, why not?
I used to go to that church.
To the one at the Maltings?
It's like a branch. It's like a bigger branch, but they've got like smaller branches like students like elsewhere.
Oh. Was it like a campus ministry or something?
Kind of, but they do have like they do meet either on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like as part of like a bigger church, like more people.
Yeah.
So
Let's see if I can. I think I'm just gonna get on the bike. I don't feel like jumping rope. I wanted to get on the you know what, but that doesn't seem like that's gonna happen for me today. Okay. Let's just ride on the bike. What the heck? So he said he just up and decided to go to church service. Good for him. What did you talk to him about it?
I don't know, I was thinking like how it was.
Was he what was he over there for? Was he working?
Yeah.
Oh, so he just decided to go down. So he decided to just go downstairs and check it out. I've never been down there myself. What's that?
And I'm saying after like, so what do you think about it, right? And he was like, oh, it was like just interesting to see. And I said something interesting. He was like, I always felt sorry for them because like when they were praying, they pray with like desperation.
Yeah.
And it was like they're just hopeless.
They're hopeless.
So yeah. I want to find out more. He was just telling me like, I'm just asking, okay, then what do you like believe, like in general?
You-
Just telling me about.
We're not hopeless. We're hopeless without him, that's for sure. They were hopeless. That's hilarious. I forgot my watch too. So no, I didn't forget anything. Just forgot my watch. But I just woke up this morning and decided I really wanted to get on the. Is this thing gonna work, or is this thing gonna turn on, or what? There we go. So yeah, I talk to Alexander quite often, but I drop little, little nuggets, little seeds. He was trying to explain to you what they were saying?
What he believes, like
Oh.
his philosophy.
Yeah. Well, he's crazy. What's he gonna say? He gonna say something crazy.
Oh yeah. He was basically like, the whole self thing that, and I was like, okay, so what do you think? Like, do you think life has a purpose?
Yeah.
What he said, like, I was like, it was literally like, do you think life has a purpose? Or like, what do you think the purpose is? Like, something along those lines. He said something like, he said something, you know, like the whole stuff. Like, I believe like life's purpose is just to be like your higher self, something like that.
Whatever that is, yeah. To be your highest self. Yeah, me too. You said I'm gonna take this sweatshirt off. I'm already starting to sweat. Woo. And I have to use this for a towel. I forgot I did forget a towel. Yeah. Forgot my bath towel So I'll have to use this to dry off so I can't get it sweaty. He sent me a text the other day, little Alex did, and it was so long. You know, it was one of those things, you know, like when you read the text at the bottom, it'll say more, you know, because it just gives you the. So I thought, okay, maybe it might be like another line or something. And I clicked more, and it just dropped. It was just like a book, and I'm like, what is this? I couldn't even read it all. It was so much.
What was it about?
I don't even know. I really don't. I'd have to go back and the funny thing was I was expecting a text from him because he was telling me something. He was giving me some advice about vitamins, and I was looking for. I said, "Hey, can you text me the name of these vitamins?" Or whatever that he was telling me about. And so I was expecting a text from him, but when I got a text, it had nothing to do with vitamins. And it was like this long philosophical thing. I was like, goodness. But it made me happy because I know that means he's thinking about like higher things. You know, he's thinking about, you know, things that are, higher things, important things about meaning and all this stuff. So I was happy to see that. I'm gonna put this on this side. That way my mic can pick up me and you. But yeah, the funny thing is I've had many conversations with him. He's a Christian and he just doesn't even know it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, if you were to go around and talk to most people in England, especially white people, there's so many people, like, because it's built into our culture, you know what I mean? Like in Europe. So most white people in Europe, you know, of European descent, they have Christian values. They hold Christian values. They believe in things that would be very, very difficult to explain why you believe in them if not for Christianity. So
See you later.
bye-bye. Bye. So it's one of those things where I really enjoy talking. It's really quite easy when you talk to a lot of like people of European descent. They're right below. If you could just scratch right past the surface, Christianity's there. They just don't realize it. It's like it's like, if you think about, I like to look at it like this, right? You think about like nature, and you think about all of the things in the world that happen that we don't, unless you understand science, it's a mystery to you, right? So you jump up in the air and you come back down, right? So unless you really are old enough to understand the fundamentals of gravity, right? You wouldn't understand that. It's a mystery. Why do I jump up and come back down, right? But all this stuff, and there's so many scientific principles, like the laws of inertia and centripetal force and all of these things, right? They're just like, oh wow, that's so weird that it happens that way. But then you learn from a scientist, oh well, that's because blah 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 blah. And you're like, oh man, okay. Well, the interesting thing is, I think Christianity is like that. People are running around the world, especially Europeans, behaving and thinking and feeling and believing so many things, but they really don't understand that the reason why they think that is because their culture is 2,000 years of Christianity. It's been influenced by 2,000 years of Christianity. So, of course you believe that. You just didn't realize that it was Christianity that was doing it. It was the reason. Just like a kid doesn't understand gravity. That's why I tell people in England, man, you guys better wake up, man, and recapture your Christian heritage. You live in a country where every freedom, every privilege, every great thing to you is given to you. And you don't realize how much of it is because of your country's Christian heritage. And if you don't believe that, go move to a Buddhist or a Hindu or a Sikh or a Muslim. Go move to a country where they don't share our Christian values. Good luck with that. Now, luckily, we're getting to a point in time where greed is such a powerful force that even religion is becoming, like even in Muslim countries, they're becoming more welcoming to other people because they're just greed. They know they want our money, you know, like Dubai and places like that, right? Or where was the place where they had the World Cup? Qatar, right? So some of these Muslim countries are literally putting aside their religious beliefs and they're welcoming Westerners with all of their, you know, conflicting ideas because of greed. So greed is even starting to overrule even in Muslim countries. You know, you can only live by Sharia law for so long before the entire Western world says, to hell with you, I ain't coming there. So they're having to decide, a lot of these Western or Eastern countries, especially the Middle Eastern countries, they're having to decide, you know, what's more important. Do we want to really, really, really strictly enforce our Islamic beliefs and alienate ourselves from the entire Western world? Or do we compromise to lure tourists? And that's what they're doing. So, I guess, you know, money is making the world go round, I guess, but.
So really, I really want to understand what he was like meaning. Because you know when you're confused, I think I'm literally just nodding, just
to be agreeable.
I'm listening, like I'm listening, but I'm trying to understand.
You know what's funny is I've got to the point in my life, like when people say something to me and they say, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, no, I don't. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't understand a single word. Like, I think I understand what you're trying to say, maybe. It's like Henry, when Henry's like, oh, man, you know, like, I'm like, no, I don't understand what you're saying, Henry. No, that's okay, though. I think it's something about the gym. I think it's something about something, I don't know, fire. I don't know. Just wait till Donna gets here. And then she'll tell me what you're saying. Night shift where? Where do you work?
On my placement, I work here.
I mean, your placement is
Solihull.
Solihull. Not to be confused with Selly Oak.
Oh, it's like Solihull, so Solihull.
Okay. I don't know where that is.
Oh, it's far.
Is it? Like more than like 20 minutes away?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
there.
you know, it depends like what you take, 'cause like by bus,
Yeah.
you'll probably, depending on traffic, between like 20 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
By car, it might be like quicker though.
Okay. It just depends on traffic, I guess. Time of day.
And I think it's down Warwick Road. So that direction.
Whew. This is really the best. You know, of all the places for me in the morning to come in and do cardio, this is just the easiest. I can sit here, I can put my camera on. I don't bother anybody, nobody bothers me. I sweat tons when I'm on this bicycle though. Good morning, Yana. Like her, I don't understand a word she says 90% of the time. Once we get past good morning, the gloves are off. Who knows? All bets are off. Had a really good discussion we had this group at our church called The Circle, where, you know, people can come and sit around in a circle and pretty much just ask any kind of questions that they want. And I have to field the questions.
You get some interesting ones.
I mean, you know what? No, not really. I mean, because the thing is, and I remember hearing a couple people say this. You know, like when you go on YouTube and you see some of these, like these big Christian apologists that go around to like campuses and things like that, they'll tell you, like when you listen to them talk or in interviews, they'll say it doesn't matter where they go in the world, which campus they go to, they could almost with 100% accuracy tell you these are the 10 questions that we're going to get basically every single night. You know, they said there's very rarely do they ever hear an original question. I mean, which is interesting, because as human beings, it shows that we're all worried about the same things. We're all considering the same things. And even like when for instance, some of these apologists, they'll go into a Muslim community. They know before they even get there. This is what they're going to say to me. They're going to attack the Trinity. They're going to attack Christ. You know, the divinity of Christ. Not Christ per se, but the divinity of Christ. And so they know. It's very rare. So when we went to this meeting, it's basically the same questions people ask all the time, but sometimes, because it's a little different, because we're all of the same church. So we come in at a starting point where we all there's certain things we all already understand. So they tend to ask sometimes things a little bit more complicated, but I love it because sometimes when people ask a question, it just leads to another question, another question, another question, because the answer is not simple. And I get to the point sometimes where I'm cornered, where it's like, I can't answer this question without explaining for an hour this other thing. It's like, do you guys really want to do that? And what we got into was, the interesting question was, was Satan, Lucifer, was he cast to the earth in his fall, right? Did all that stuff happen before our world was created or after, right? So what happened was, which I know, is if you've ever read the book of Revelation, there's only one place in the entire Bible that mentions this, right? So there's only there's only 3 verses in the entire Bible that mention pre-Satan Lucifer. So there's not a lot on him, right? Not a lot of content there. There's a statement about Lucifer in Ezekiel 28. There's a statement about Lucifer in Isaiah 14. And then there's the famous, that everybody would probably know if you've studied it, is Revelation chapter 12, where it talks about that there was a dragon, and this dragon's tail drew 1/3 of the stars. And the dragon fought against Michael, and Michael prevailed, and the dragon was cast to the earth, right? And so, from a very superficial view, it's easy to just say, okay, he was cast to the earth. Therefore, the earth must have already existed, right? Unless, he couldn't have cast him to the earth if the earth didn't exist. So the obvious answer at first glance is that, the earth was created, and then Lucifer was cast from heaven to the earth. And it's really nice when the answer is nice and simple, right? Like that. Nice, easy, tie a bow on it. Problem is, it's not that simple, because you're reading a verse from the book of Revelation where 99.9% of it is symbolic. So almost every single thing you read in the book of Revelation, unless there's a compelling reason to take it literally, you have to take it as a symbol, right? A symbol. I mean, the whole book is a book entrenched and encoded in symbol. So when it says that he was cast to the earth, I have to ask people, are we taking this to be literal? Like, does it mean planet Earth? Like, are we taking this verse literal? And I believe from reading the whole book itself, but even that particular chapter, there's no way you could take the earth to be literal. It's not a literal planet Earth.
So where do you believe he was
Well,
cast?
that's another whole story. That's another whole story, right? But here's the thing. If you read where it says he was cast to the earth, right? If you take the earth literally, the very next verse says, John the Revelator says, woe unto you, inhabitants of the earth, right? Because now Satan's come down to you with great wrath, right? He's angry. The problem is that it says not just the earth, it says woe unto the inhabitants of the sea, right? Woe unto the earth and unto the inhabitants of the sea, for Satan has come down unto you with great wrath, right? So whoever these inhabitants of the earth and the sea are, Satan's mad with them when he's attacking them. Well, if you take it all literal, then that means he's angry with fish, because people don't live in the sea, right? So unless Satan's angry with the fish and he's coming down to attack fish, then you have to assume the sea does not literally represent the ocean, right? Because there's inhabitants there, and he's mad with the inhabitants, and he's attacking the inhabitants. So the sea can't be it can't be literal, because Satan's not mad with fish. So now my problem is if the people and the inhabitants of the sea are symbolic of something other than fish, then that means that whoever this earth is also a symbol of something else. So what you have is a symbolic, I'm coming to you, you inhabitants of the earth and the sea, and I'm coming at you with great wrath. I don't believe that means literally just literal planet Earth in itself, because I can't take the planet Earth to be literal and then take the sea to be symbolic. I can't find any justification in that. So I assume the whole thing is, and then if you go, and then a verse or two later, he talks about the earth again, where he says that there's a woman. So this whole chapter, it's about a woman, and she's running because the dragon's after her. And it says that he does something. It says he basically opens up his mouth and spits out a flood to kill her. There he is.
Hey, big guy. I've seen you there. Two things. Have you got the tinea that we borrowed the other week there?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dr. Andrew.
Brought back the power cable because apparently there was something wrong with it. So I think maintenance came.
The most handsome Scotsman in the entire world.
Yeah, I think so. I am the most handsome Scotsman though. Do you know, I was listening to a podcast the other day. They were talking about actors. They were talking about Sean Connery, right?
Oh man,
Right,
good.
and the actors on it were like, he was the most alpha man I ever met in my life. He said he did this film, Indiana Jones. He said that he flew in from Monte Carlo, right?
Okay.
In his private jet, got a helicopter to the set,
Set.
did a week. He gave me his $1 million in cash in a suitcase, and then he left. He said the man just exuded pure masculinity.
Yeah.
That was,
Sean
but he would
Connery's
just
awesome.
occasionally would just purse his lips and that little twinkle in the eye, and the woman would just melt you.
I'll tell you, if there was one famous person whose accent I could nail and just go into and talk like that all day, it would be Sean Connery. Yeah.
So right, Miss Money Penny. Right, you asked me a question the other day, and I realised I actually did a little post on it.
I asked you a question?
How much
Oh, yeah.
volume is best for hypertrophy? Yeah.
No, the question was, do you think that his statement that you
Yeah.
could gain about 60%
Here you go.
of maximum hypertrophic gains with only 3 to 4 sets?
Nah, I think you need more. But what this study basically does is they compare doing 24 to 45 sets per week.
Okay.
To just doing 14 to 20 sets per week.
Okay.
In terms of muscle mass gains. And what they sort of show is that this is probably too much this
Yeah.
much is optimal, and then if you do less than that,
Yeah.
then it's probably you're not going to get as much gains. But you can see it's a curve.
Right.
So you're probably somewhere on this curve. You could get
Right.
some gains.
So the
but-
question becomes, is how many sets from here to there?
Yeah, exactly.
If I do 4 sets, how many sets do I have to do to get there? And then how many sets do I have to do to
Yeah,
get there?
they reckon it's between about 9
To 10.
15.
9 to 15 to
in
get
that,
optimal.
in that zone, yeah.
Okay.
So anything less than that is
Optimal
probably
being what, 100%?
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so-
the question is, right, all these training studies do, right,
Right.
is they just do straight sets. They just do, you go in the gym,
Yeah.
you do your 9 sets at 80% 1 rep max, you do 10 reps. It doesn't account for that Dory and Yates style training whereby you might only do 4 sets, but every single set you do, you absolutely smash
You go
it.
to failure.
You do a drop set,
Yeah.
you do a super set,
Yeah.
you negative, you rest pause, and you
Yeah.
do, doesn't consider that.
No,
type of
yeah,
training,
right.
which
So
is
to
a different
just
level
say
of
sets
already. Yeah.
without
Yeah.
equating all this other stuff.
I've never seen one in the flesh. Look,
Oh,
What?
the Stanley Cup. It's what they win in hockey.
Oh, yeah. The Stanley Cup.
You know what it's called?
Oh, that's
it's what?
the trophy. The trophy in ice hockey in America.
Stanley
It's called the Stanley Cup,
You
yeah.
must have seen that meme by now, right? I mean, as soon as
I
I
haven't.
was like, what, you mean like the people talking about Stanley Cups? I was like, you mean ice hockey? Or someone sent me that meme like about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Tanita
So
scale, do
we've
you
got
have
the
it?
scale, but I think
That
they
thing
haven't
sucks,
brought
it doesn't
back the
work.
power cable.
Because we used it last week at work.
It does. No, I mean it's
Did
not.
you-
Like,
together.
yeah, so they took it to go and
Oh, so it's
replace
backwards.
that.
No, I don't think it's been calibrated. I mean, no, I'm not saying functionally. I'm saying like I don't think it's been calibrated forever. And people have done it, and literally within 20
Oh, the
minutes,
results are crap.
within 20 minutes, the results are all over the place.
Well, I'll use something else today, alright?
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah. So it says that this woman was running, and the dragon goes ah and spits out a flood, and it says that the earth opened up her mouth, or the earth opened up, or something like that, and swallowed the flood, and protected the woman. So, again, we're talking about symbols here, right? It's a dragon, it's a symbol. The flood is clearly a symbol. Satan's not spitting out water, right?
Then,
The whole thing's symbolic, obviously.
so have you heard about the gap theory?
Yeah, of course, yeah, from 1-1 to 1-2.
Yeah. So then, what do you think of it? Do you think it's true or?
Well, you just completely changed the subject.
No. Let's go into what you're saying about symbolism and water and all of that.
Right. I don't believe. That's okay. So, I haven't made a conclusion yet. I don't know if that I would basically. You ever heard the expression like I'm not going to die on that hill, right? I'm not going to fight to the death over something because I'm not that certain about it, right? I would not put my life on the line that there wasn't a space of time between 1-1 and 1-2. So I think it's entirely possible that he created this ball of matter, this unshaped, whatever ball of matter. And then at some point in time in the future came back and picked up reshaping it.
Okay.
So in verse 2, you see him beginning to shape, you see him beginning to shape the elements, right? So I'm not against the idea that he created matter. He created this, it was without shape, right? What does it say? It was without form and shape, or
No. So
it was
then,
void?
If you take like the gap theory into consideration, so basically, it's like God created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah.
That's Genesis 1:1. So
Right.
we have the heavens and the earth.
Yeah,
So knowing God, He's good. Everything that He does
Right.
is good. He creates perfection.
right.
Then between the first verse and the second,
Yeah.
the second one is where it says it was dark and void.
Right.
That's where I
So
believe
it describes what he made there in verse 1.
So in that theory, that's where I believe that He created everything perfect.
Yeah.
And then that's where.
Or you believe that
Lucifer-
the earth was made perfect. It was destroyed somehow.
It was no.
And then he
that's
had to
when
come back and
Lucifer was,
remake it.
That's when Lucifer was cast down
Okay.
during that period. So that's
Okay.
why, like the gap theory. So like a lot happened. It's not him being cast down to the earth,
Into that primordial.
into the earth.
Yeah.
He created the heavens and the
Yeah.
earth. He was cast down from heaven
Yeah.
into the earth.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where he took the 1/3 with him.
Yeah.
Now being there, like you know?
Yeah, yeah, no,
you know
yeah, I
what
got
it
you.
is? Like,
Yeah.
So obviously he's gonna like mess up creation. I'm like now
Yeah.
paraphrasing and everything. So
You just have to be, I'm with you with that. Up until the point where we look at verse 2 or 3
That's where
as
I'm
a
going.
recreation.
no. So that's what. So now it's like okay. So God had first of all like created this perfect place, and now because Lucifer has kind of come and now inhabited it with like the fallen
Right.
angels. Now it's like dark. It's like void and it's like formless.
Okay, so you believe, again, as I'm saying, I don't go as far to say that the earth in verse 1 was created finished. And then something happened in between that ruined it. And then what you see in verse 2 and 3 is him having to then go back and essentially recreate what he had made in verse 1.
But then that's like, so basically the Bible, everything in the Bible points to Christ coming. So would you not see it as, okay, he's created something and now it's darkness and void. So now he's saying, let there be light. What do you think that symbolizes with his let there be light?
I don't think it symbolizes anything. I think it was light. I think it was physical light.
There's that. But then also, if you look at creation as a whole, he's created the he created the earth,
Yeah.
and then people were just doing the most. And then who did he send? His son, who was the light.
Okay,
So
right.
do you not see that could you could compare it as that as well?
Yes. There's spiritual implications, but what I'm saying is I can accept that there was a time period between verse 1 and 2, but I do not believe that the earth was made perfect, destroyed by whatever, and then verse 2, he has to now start to refix it again.
And then if it's like that, then that's almost questioning like, okay, so God does like half jobs, because if he's created a matter, that's
Right.
not perfect. Like
Well,
what he
matter in and of itself is perfect if that's what he wanted to create. It's like making clay. If I could make clay, and then I can say, okay, now I'm going to take 6 days to shape it into something exactly what I want it to be. And at every point, it's exactly what I want. So I believe that the creation story is in 6 days. He made the heavens and the earth. So I believe first day he made this, the second day he made that. I don't believe that he went like this and everything was present. Because first of all, where were the animals? Where was Adam? Where was Eve? Right? That wasn't there. Unless you believe that there was a race of people before Adam and Eve that died off.
It wasn't necessarily like died off, but would you not say that would that? So that's where what's it? When he was cast down with
Yeah.
like a third of the angels,
Yeah.
they were spirits. They weren't humans. So
No, they were angels. Yeah.
exactly. So then like you can't really say that they were created by him anyway.
Right, yes.
So it's like yeah, they were created like humans were created like.
I feel like I should
further
lower.
on.
I feel like my.
Hello.
Should I lower my seat or should I raise it a little bit? I feel a little uncomfortable. I think I need to raise it a drop. Oh, that's better. Ooh, good. See? You never know what kind of conversations you're going to get into when you come to the gym. Some days you come in here, people want to talk about health, talk about fitness, talk about exercise, talk about nutrition. And Andrew comes in, conversation's one thing, third's another thing. Somebody else might come up, might be something else. Gym life, man. But this is my sea, right? This is my lake, it's my ocean. Follow me, I will make you fishers of men. Fly fisher. Now, I have heard people say that for one particular reason, because there's an interesting word in when God made Adam and Eve. He uses an interesting word, which I have. What's that? No. And I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't studied this word, so I'd have to go into it deeper.
What's the word?
He tells Adam and Eve to replenish the earth, right? Now, some people interpret replenish, especially from a 21st century standpoint,
Look it up now.
to mean that replenish means that there were people here before and they're gone. So I need you to replenish. I need you to put back what was once there. And so some people, because of that one word, they assume that there was an entire world of people before Adam and Eve. And everything in Genesis 1, 2, 3, and on in the creation story is basically just what you said. He made the world perfect. It destroyed somehow. And then what you're reading in creation story is actually a recreation story. But I just don't find evidence for that. I just don't find that that flows with the overall jibe of the scripture, of the creation story in general. So for instance, if he was able to make the heaven and earth in an instant, perfect in its shape and form, why did it then, when he recreated it, did it take him 6 days? Right? And
God.
right.
It's God.
So if he can make, right, but if he can make it in an instant, why when he recreated it, did he not create it in an instant? He took it in 6 days.
Because his way of thinking, that's where
Right.
you've got to be like, okay, this
Right.
is God now, so we can't question.
No, but what I can do is say, this is what the Bible reveals how God works. This is how it works.
The thing is,
He,
if you do that, then it's like you're almost limiting God to saying, okay, this is how he works, but then you can't limit him because
well, we
it
can not
says
limit him,
in
but we can only go with what he says.
In Corinthians, it says when we only know in part.
Right, of course.
prophesy in part,
Right.
Which means there are ways God can do things that we can't even comprehend. Or that we
Well,
can't
of course, right. He's God.
So now it's like if you say, okay, God spoke and everything was created.
Yeah, and everything
why
meaning
then-
another race of people.
No, as I'm going back to your question, when
Yeah.
you're like, okay, if he spoke and things happened instantaneously,
Yeah.
why did it then take him 6 days? We don't know. We can only ask God when we get to heaven.
Yeah. Why did you make it? Why did you make it the first time instantaneously, and the second time you took 6 days?
Thing is, that's a question
Okay,
for God.
right,
so
but
we can't
well, but
answer
right, but
that.
this, but we don't have to ask God that because the assumption that He did make it instantaneously first is not revealed. It is revealed that He made the heavens and the earth in 6 days. Day 1, day
Made
2,
the
day
heavens-
3.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what's revealed. So to go any further than that and read into something between verse 1 and 2 is pure speculation.
But the thing is, I never said that he created it instantaneously because maybe in creating the heavens and the earth,
Right.
like you're saying,
Right.
we don't know how long it took.
Right.
My thing was just saying it's just that like the period between. So we don't know how long he took to create the heavens and the earth because like it doesn't say
No, all we know is that it took Him 6 days
to create
the second time. Right. Everything that we see, it took Him 6 days.
But we don't know how long it took to create the heavens and the earth.
No, we can't say for certain. The best possible explanation is that there is no gap between 1:1 and 1:2, and He basically created the clay and then said, okay, I got it. Day 2, day 1, light. Day 2, and you
Then
see,
in that case, when was Lucifer cast down? Because it says in the garden he came as the serpent.
yeah, so obviously it happened before that.
So when would
Yeah.
you say like?
I personally believe it was before the creation of the earth. I personally believe it was before the creation, but I can't prove that. And that was my whole point, was that there's really no definitive answer. Because the 3 verses in the Bible that mention Satan or Lucifer, they don't definitively say. They say why he fell. He was proud, he was jealous, he wanted to be like God, etc., etc. But none of the 3 verses that mention Lucifer mention when. The only verse that gives you any indication is in Revelation 12 when it says he was cast to the earth. But my argument is I cannot understand the earth in that context to be literal planet Earth because the entire chapter, forget the whole book, the chapter, there's a woman standing on the moon with the sun. That's simple. It's a symbol, right? There's no real. You think there's literally a woman out there standing on the moon with stars around her head?
That time it's going to be because
How could you possibly think that's real?
there's something that you mentioned, but I don't want to go into it because
Yeah.
it's a very complex topic.
Yeah.
Right? But it was about like the waters. Like I don't think the waters are symbolic as well.
Well, if you don't, yeah, I mean, so
Because it's like
if you believe that there was a literal woman in space standing on the moon with the stars over her head and the sun, if you believe that to be literal, then I can see it wouldn't be hard for you to assume that the sea itself is literal. Because you've, right from the jump street, from verse 1, you've automatically assumed that all of this is literal. But there's just no way in the world that I could possibly conceive a universe in which any of that is literal. I've never seen a woman standing in space, standing on the moon.
But then look at this, that's revelation though.
Right.
That's revelation. So if you actually study it, some of these things haven't come to pass.
Right. Okay. Well,
So
whether it has or hasn't come to pass.
So it's like the witnesses. You know about the witnesses?
Yeah, of course, yes, the two
So
witnesses.
are you saying that those, they are going
Clearly they're not, I don't believe they're people. No. I believe that 99.9% of the book of Revelation is all symbol.
So you think that the witnesses are going to be symbolic?
I believe, yes, they are, have been, will be, whatever you see it, will be symbolic, yes. Yep. I believe that the entire book of Revelation, 99.9% of it it's apocryphal language, right? It's hidden. It's not hidden, but symbolic, right? So when you read, for instance, the very first,
So what
when
do
you
you have evidence of it
Yeah.
being symbolic?
well, one, the very first one or two verses of Revelation, when God says, "I've given this revelation to John," he uses an interesting word. He says that I have signified it to my servant John. Almost any Bible commentary that you read will tell you that the Greek word used for signified means I am communicating in symbol. I've wrapped up everything I'm about to say in symbols.
What?
In fact, many new Bible translations will say that. It'll translate signified into symbols.
So this is New American, the things which must take place, and he sent and communicated
Yeah.
it by his angel.
Right.
So things.
So they didn't even acknowledge the word signified.
So no, now I'm going to go search the Greek word.
Yeah. Look up.
What's the Greek word?
Well, I don't know what the Greek word is. I've looked it up, but I don't memorize it. But
Signified it.
he says that I've signified this to my servant John. The word signified is a Greek word that means symbol. I'm communicated through symbolic language.
No, that's not it. I've got the Greek word here.
It is it. Every Greek scholar in the world says it.
No, I've got
Yeah.
the word here.
What's it say?
So this is just to show. So this is Revelation 1, right?
Yes.
And we're going and signified. So that's the word, and signified.
Yeah.
So, so the Greek word signified that was used in Revelation 1
One.
is semeno. That's how it's semeno.
Okay.
And it is to give a sign, signify to indicate,
Right.
to make known. So it doesn't say, it's got nothing to do with symbolism. So now, is it correct to say that?
Yes. Yeah, it does mean that. It absolutely means that. I've never read any Greek any commentator who's ever translated this to say that word does not mean in the Greek language to communicate, to indicate by sign and symbols. You have to look up commentary. I've never read any commentary ever that said that word does not mean to communicate through symbols and signs. So almost every Greek commentary, any commentary I've ever heard who's commentated on that, says that in the very first verse, God is communicating that what I'm about to say to you, I'm going to communicate through symbols. Because and then there's the alternative, right? So you asked, why do I think that, right? So the first reason is because every commentary I've ever read on it says that the use of the word signified suggests the use of symbols. Yeah, it suggests the use of the word communication through symbols. But then there's the second reason, which is you'd have to be out of your mind to believe that anything that you've read in the book of Revelation should be taken literally. Do you really believe that there's a woman in space? Do you believe that dragons are coming up out of the sea? Do you believe that beasts speak? Do you believe that dragons shoot out floods out of their mouth? Do you believe any of that to be literal? That's crazy. There's no...
That's what I'm saying. Because know in part. We prophesy. That's the key. We only know in
Right.
part. So the thing is, most of this, you may never have seen it.
Right.
So I'm not saying dragon teeth.
Right.
Like, these things are real. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that, is it correct to come to a conclusion based on what you have read?
Yes, absolutely.
Listen, no, I'm not finished. What you have read, what you have seen,
Yes.
as a human,
absolutely,
with
yeah.
with your understanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't believe that you're
No,
limiting God.
I believe that.
So you wait. Basically, what you're saying is that you know, like
No.
all of this,
What I
it's
believe,
impossible for
no, this
God
is what
to
I
do
believe.
anything else.
I believe the general tenor of Scripture is when God speaks, He wants you to understand. And He wants you to listen and do what I'm about to tell you.
So?
He cannot do that if He communicates to me in Chinese. God speaks to us using things that we understand. So when God said, hey, there was a beast that was rising up out of the sea, He knew, John knew, that when I say this, everybody that I'm writing to is going to know exactly what this means. Right? He was using symbols, communication that they understood. When, for instance, you get into Revelation 17, He starts talking about this thing, this power, and He says, her name? Babylon. Well, why did He say that? Because He knew they knew about Babylon. God communicates to people using language that they understand. That's why almost every single thing in the Bible is communicated through stories that they were familiar with. The entire book of Revelation. If you go to chapter 2, for instance, what's one of the first things you see? You see that Jezebel is in the church. Jezebel's in the church? Jezebel died 800 years ago. So is this literal or is this symbolic?
The spirit of Jezebel, spirits don't die.
What's that? Well, that's another whole thing, but so you believe a ghost is floating around in the church?
But the thing is, it's not. That's like saying that's not a ghost. Like a spirit. I don't believe spirits are ghosts, but I believe they are. Like we're a spirit.
Yeah.
We are a
Right.
spirit in a body.
Right.
So basically, all Jezebel has, the spirit of Jezebel
Yeah.
can be like in this person.
The spirit of Jezebel, like in the sense of her mindset, her attitude, the way she behaved, you know, her spirit.
No, what's a spirit? Like, what's a spirit?
Well, that's an interesting question. But we say that all the time. Right? We use that word poetically, literally. We use that word 1,000 different ways, right, in our language. It doesn't have one definitive meaning. You know, I mean, I remember going to a pep rally where they were, you know, the cheerleaders would say, we got spirit, yes we do, we got spirit, how about you? They're not talking about an invisible ghost that lives inside of me.
Okay, so can I ask you something?
Yeah. We use the word a million different ways.
Do you believe like?
No, I do not believe that.
No, I haven't even asked.
I know what you're going to ask me.
What am I gonna ask you?
You're going to ask me something about the soul or the spirit or something
No,
like
that's
that.
literally not.
Okay,
what I'm
okay, I
asking.
took a guess then.
Okay, do you believe that if your finger was to come off, it can grow back?
No, of course not. We don't regenerate.
Right.
That's scientifically proven. We're not our cells are not regenerative like that.
Okay.
We're not lizards.
So then, how did God grow the soldier's ear?
What's that? He didn't grow the soldier's ear.
So how did he like restore? Like
He,
how,
pi-
how did
he picked it up and he put it back on. But he was God. So he performed a
but
miracle.
He was God in person.
Right, but he
as
performed a
well?
miracle.
Okay, so how?
Jesus performed miracles. Like fish and, well, seas don't open up. People don't walk on water.
Fair enough.
These were miracles.
So
So they were supra our world. You know, he was able to function.
Okay.
So yes, do I believe that God could grow my finger back? Yeah.
okay, so I'll use a different person then.
Yeah, you can't use Jesus. Jesus could do whatever he wanted.
So you know, is it Peter? Paul? Peter?
Yeah.
Peter or Paul? Correct me if I'm wrong. This one. How did their shadow heal people when they were walking?
Because God performed miracles through them.
So do you still? Do you
Through the
believe
power.
That, do you believe that?
Do I believe that shadows heal people? No, I do not.
Do you believe that miracles are still possible?
Well, of course, miracles are possible, but miracles are things that happen outside of the natural order.
Right.
So I'm assuming when you ask me, can my finger grow back? I'm assuming that you mean like a natural, without divine intervention.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. So like now, why I'm saying like you're limited is because we've only seen certain things. It's like if you literally you read back in the Bible about how miracles
Yeah.
that were being
Yeah.
performed
Yep.
by people even, not only like Jesus,
Right.
but by people. Thing is, we haven't
Right.
seen those. So now, if I was
Right.
to come and say to you, "Oh, this is what James, my shadow can
Yeah.
heal you,"
Right.
he's done it before.
Right.
Who's to say he can't do it again?
Well, I'm not saying he can't do it again. That was a
Right,
miracle.
that's
God
it.
can walk on water anytime he wants.
So-
He can split
so
seas
he
if he
can
wants.
do what he wants. So then, that's what I'm saying. That we can't now say, "Oh, that."
Well,
because
you know,
this-
we're not saying that God's limited. What I'm saying is that when God communicates, he communicates for a reason. He tells you, you see what I'm saying to you, you better hear me and listen and obey and take action. We can't do that if he's speaking to us messages that are undecipherable. And he said when he spoke to every prophet in the Bible, every place in the Bible is clear. He says, I'm going to communicate to you using something you understand, right? I'll give you another example. In Daniel chapter 2, he's speaking to whom? Who had the dream?
King Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Was he a believer or was he a pagan at that time?
At that time, he was a pagan.
He was an idol worshiper, right? So when God communicated to him and gave him a dream, what did he show him? An idol, right? An idol,
Yeah.
a statue, an idol, essentially, right? He saw an idol, right? 5 chapters later, he talks to Daniel, gives Daniel a dream. Did he come and show Daniel an idol? No, he did not. What did he come and show Daniel? He showed him 4 unclean beasts. 4 unclean, as Daniel would have understood it, 4 unclean beasts, right? So, why did he not show Daniel the idol and Nebuchadnezzar the unclean beast? Because Nebuchadnezzar wouldn't have understood the significance of unclean beast. But Daniel would.
But then Nebuchadnezzar didn't understand his own dream.
Well, he didn't know it, but the moment
but
Daniel
that's-
said
no,
it,
but then that
he was
contradicts
like,
what-
oh, that's an idol.
That contradicts what you're saying, that when God speaks to people is to understand. He speaks to you, and so why didn't Nebuchadnezzar
No, Nebuchadnezzar did not understand his dream. He didn't remember the dream.
No. It says that he didn't understand.
No, he says he
knew
didn't.
it.
No, that's exactly opposite. He said he could not remember the dream.
No. He said.
Okay,
that
look it
he-
up.
yeah.
Because he told his people, I want you to tell me
Yeah, but that
what
was
the dream
no, but
was
that
and the meaning.
That was the test because he knew.
Oh no,
if
he didn't know the dream. He specifically said, I didn't know the dream.
No, I'm going to explain why. Because the thing is, he didn't want people. Right.
No, so
Wait,
again,
hold
that's
on.
speculation.
No.
He specifically said, what I know is that he said,
Where
I
is
don't
it?
understand. It's Daniel 2.
No, Daniel 2. Do you know why? Because.
Well, I know I know that
did
you're
he say?
speculating
Wait,
why,
what did he
but you're
say?
speculating. The text says he did not know his dream. He did not
Thing is,
remember
no.
it.
He says.
So you could assume he was faking. You could assume that but that's all speculation. The text says he did not remember his dream and he was troubled.
No, what? Daniel 2, where it says that he did not remember the dream?
The whole chapter.
No. It says, I had a dream and my spirit is anxious to understand. O
Right.
king live forever. Then he says, tell the dream to your servants and we will declare.
Yeah.
The king replied, the command from me is firm. If you do not make known to me the dream
Right.
and its interpretation, you will be torn limb from limb. What that is saying is, if you do not tell me, it doesn't say that I don't remember. The thing is, he said this, and I'm about to tell you. He said this because, look.
You're
before you go on-
speculating.
No, it's
You're
not
speculating. It's pure
No,
speculation.
I'm literally about to explain it. He said this because he says that he wanted the truth. I will find it. But basically, they were known to tell kings.
Right, they
what
lie.
wanted
Right,
to
of course,
hear,
right.
Right. So basically, to test their
Yeah.
validity. Is that
Yeah, I
correct?
understand what you mean,
To
yes.
test their validity.
Right.
He says, look, if you are a true prophet,
Right.
you are going to know the
Right.
dream without me telling you.
But that's in a
So-
pure speculation. You're speculating that he was pretending to not remember his dream.
But if you declare the dream, you will receive.
Right, I understand what it says. I know what it says. He did not know the dream. And he said, you guys need to not only tell me what the interpretation is, I can't even tell you what it means. You have to tell me.
No, but there's nowhere where it says I don't know the dream. That's my point.
Right, but
There's
he's
nowhere-
right. He
Now
asked
you're
them.
speculating.
He asked them, you need to tell me the dream.
But that doesn't mean that he.
So you're
remember?
speculating that he just was pretending to not know
I'm
it and he was
just
testing them.
speculating that he didn't know because nowhere. So I'm reading it now.
Right,
There's
right.
nowhere where it says I do not remember.
Right.
What he's saying is you tell me. There's nowhere where it says
Fair
I
enough.
don't know the dream.
Fair enough.
that's
So
the thing.
so I'm coming to the conclusion that he said you have to tell me the dream and the meaning, and they said we can't do that. You tell us the meaning. You tell us the dream, and we'll tell you the meaning. And you're assuming that he really knew the dream and was just pretending to not know.
I'm saying he did that to literally know if they were telling the truth. Because, like you say, if you read, if you study, this is now going back to history, study.
Right.
People like prophets and all that, they
Right.
were known to tell the king what they wanted to hear
Okay.
because they feared their life.
Right.
Because, you know, if you were to tell the king something that he didn't want to hear,
Right, of course.
you'd be killed.
Right, of course.
There's history like that.
Yeah.
You believe that. We're correct on, like,
Yeah.
we agree on that, right?
Yeah, of course, right.
So now he's
Yeah,
like,
they lie.
okay.
Yeah, they just make stuff up. Yeah.
So now there's no way it says, I don't know. All he says is, you
Right.
tell me.
So I'm speculating that he said, tell me the dream itself. And I'm speculating because he didn't remember it. And you're speculating that he was using it as a way to test them,
Yeah, to test
even
to
though
see-
he's never done that before in his entire life. Because they even were surprised that he asked that. So he had never tested them like that in his entire life until that moment.
Yep.
So
Because-
you're assuming that he just woke up that day and decided to test his. You just assume that he woke up that day and decided, you know what, I'm going to
But then
test
how
my.
many dreams has he had like that? Because here it literally says he had a dream and his spirit was anxious.
Yeah.
So he could have had dreams, but there's something about this. Because if that's so,
Yeah.
then the Bible should have said all the dreams that he's had. Like the Bible should have mentioned
But-
all of that.
Well, we don't have any evidence to believe
That's the thing.
that
So
God had
now-
ever communicated to him before.
That's what I'm saying. So now it says he was anxious. So he's anxious. So which means
Because
that
he knew he had a bad dream and he knew
there's-
something's not
it's-
good.
There's something different about this dream.
Yeah.
Because if there was nothing different about this dream, then it's like, okay, why would God?
Well, of
even,
course.
Like,
No, there was
mention
something.
this
There was something very, very troubling about that
this
dream. Yeah.
particular dream,
Yeah.
right? This one.
Right.
He's had plenty of dreams before.
Well, everybody's had dreams before.
He's
Yeah.
probably told them, oh, I
Right.
had a dream about this, and
But
this.
that dream felt really real.
That's the thing.
And he felt like something's very special about this.
Exactly. So,
Right.
like you're saying, he wasn't a believer then. So maybe in his spirit
Right.
is anxious. So he's like, okay,
Right.
there is something here.
Well, there's no question about it that he woke up going, I had a terrible dream, but man, I cannot remember what it was.
But then it doesn't say that he doesn't remember.
No, what it does say is you have to tell
But
me.
then you
So then you have to assume. Then you have either two choices. Either assume that he randomly that day decided to test them, or he genuinely couldn't remember the dream. So you have to assume which was the most logical explanation. But either way it goes, it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't really matter. The point being is that when God communicated to him, when Daniel came and said, "Hey, there was this mighty image."
I'm just going to use the scale.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
So the point is that when Daniel came to him and said, "Hey, I'm going to tell you," it was an image, and the moment he said, "Oh yeah, it's the image, right? It's the image," he understood idols. So it was something that he could immediately click onto and relate to. But with Daniel, he didn't say that. He came with unclean animals.
But then I could also
There's a
argue
reason.
and say Pharaoh and Joseph. Why didn't he understand the dream that he had? Because
Which dream?
Like the one of the cows, the 7 cows, the bakers, all of
Right.
that. The one that Joseph had to interpret. Because my point is, you are saying that when God communicates, he communicates
to his
understand.
prophets. Those people
No,
weren't
but
his
you didn't-
people,
you didn't say
right?
to his
No, well,
prophets before.
okay. So it's assumed when God speaks to his prophets and to his people, those were not his people. So he put them in a position where they were confused and they had no choice but to go to his prophets. So if he had given them a dream that they would have understood, they would have never went to his
Basically,
prophets.
So now you're saying that when
Then when God speaks to his people and he expects them to take action, everything you read about, everything you read about is he is communicating to them. In fact, most Bible scholars will say that almost every event in the Bible is in some way, shape, or form described as a creation, a flood, an exodus, or something of this nature. Major catastrophes that took place.
Hello. How are
Yep.
you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so far. So far.
Yeah, most things that
I'm sure
are,
he works here, don't you?
no. Most things that are described using language of events from their history, and basically like for instance, even like with creation, you get to the flood. After the flood, what do you read? They describe after Noah comes out of the ark, basically as a second creation. He basically tells the story of Noah through the lens of creation again. Noah comes out, the earth appears, light, man comes out, they begin to repopulate, right? After the Exodus, how many times when they went to Babylon, they went to all these places, they basically they spoke about leaving Babylon as if it was a second Exodus. So they were referring to Babylon as almost like a second Exodus. When Jesus talked about the second coming, he said, as in the days of Noah, right? So he's now he's explaining something that's going to happen by using events that had happened and said, hey, remember that? It's going to happen again, right? Remember creation? It's going to happen again in a way. Remember the flood? It's going to happen again. Remember the Exodus? It's going to happen again. Hey, remember Babylon? It's going to happen again. Remember Jezebel? She's in the church, right?
Yeah.
So it's taking events from back in their history, and he's using that as an analogy or an illustration of this is what's about to happen. This is what's going to happen. You want to know what's going to happen? Babylon is going to rise. The Euphrates River is going to dry up. In the book of Revelation, it says that the Euphrates River in chapter 16 is going to dry up. What sense would that make to... Well, they would be like, oh, we know what you're talking about. We remember Babylon and the Euphrates River drying up and all of these...
Do you think the river drying up is going to be... It's the actual... It's not actually going to dry up?
No, I believe it's a symbol. It's a symbol. It doesn't mean the river at all. I believe that 99.9% of the book of Revelation is symbolic. And he's using events...
Wait, what are the days of Moses?
I beg your pardon?
What are the days of Moses?
I don't understand that expression. What do you mean?
As in...
Oh, like when it says that, like in the days of Moses? Or, no, it was as in the days of Noah.
Sorry, not the Moses.
Yeah.
The days of Noah.
Oh, yeah, so he said basically as it was in the days of Noah,
So
meaning like the way that it happened with Noah. The flood came and took them all away.
So that's not what it means when it says the day. So if you read about Noah...
He's talking about the flood. As it was in the days of Noah, and the flood came and took them all away. He's talking about the flood.
No, what he means when he says the day, why did God flood the earth?
It doesn't matter because it was wicked. They were wicked.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what he meant by the days of Noah.
Right, but
as in like the wickedness that was happening. So if you read...
Oh, I don't believe... No, I agree. I don't believe he's going to literally send another flood.
Yes,
He's promised us he's not. But what I'm saying is the conditions. What basically the way it went down then, because of what happened and the way it all happened, there's if you want to understand what's going to happen, understand Noah's situation. Basically understand Noah's situation and what went down and why. And basically that's going to happen again. Except this time I've promised it won't be water, it'll be fire or something else. So
what time do you have to go?
I can go in a minute or two, but so you run into a big problem the moment you start taking the book of Revelation literal, because then you're going to have to explain how any of that from beginning to end.
That's what I'm saying. That's our whole argument where it's like, okay, let me
let's take this up next thing. I gotta go. I'm coming back. I'll be back up before then. I'll be back up. I gotta go. Let's pray. This is a great conversation. This is fantastic. She's so confused, but we're gonna fix it. Okay, dear Jesus, bless this conversation, bless this day, bless me now. In Christ's name I pray, amen. I gotta go, I'm so late. Oh my gosh. Okay guys, have a great day.